Okay. The city is conducting this public meeting using the hybrid model. The public is welcome to attend tonight's meeting in person at the Sumner City Council chambers or virtually by using the Zoom platform. Tonight's meeting is also being live streamed through YouTube. Access links and additional information can be located at the city's website and on the meeting agenda. I call the meeting of April 4th, 2022 to order at 6:02 p.m.
Mayor,
Would you? Yes.
I'm sorry, can we actually put this into recess so we can figure out the technology? Put in 5 minutes.
Testing, testing.
Yeah. On they've got the 6 or 8 second dump section so they can censor you. In case you don't work.
Pam, you're getting a lot of TV time tonight.
It makes up for last time when I logged in 3 minutes late because I had technology issues and missed it.
No, I know, listen.
So what we could do is we can shut down the camera. Join link. I think it's an issue with the microphone. The camera's on.
Testing, testing.
Back to the speaker.
Are we ready now? All right. That was a big build up to the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Now I will call on Pastor Pam Osborne for the invocation.
I have lately been returning many times to my hymn book. And I found this hymn that was written in 1934. And it was written about the time that Hitler was beginning to build concentration camps. And so I offer this tonight as our prayer. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, and my holy shrine. But other hearts and other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean. The sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too and clover. The skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. May that guide your work tonight. Amen.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Potato,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Cole,
Here.
Hochstetter,
Here.
Newman,
Here.
Reed,
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
All right. Our first thing on the agenda is a police sergeant promotion, and I will call on Chief Maricki.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, and guests. Today marks a special occasion in the history of the Sumner Police Department. I'm very proud to announce that earlier today, I officially appointed Officer Lauren Houselog to the civil service rank of police sergeant. A little bit about Lauren. Lauren started his career with us in 1996 after honorably serving in the U.S. Army with his final discharge assignment at JBLM. Over the course of his career, Lauren has served as a patrol officer, a field training officer coordinator, a reserve officer coordinator, a detective, a computer voice stress analysis operator, a canine handler, EVOC instructor, and for many, many years was the coordinator of our Sumner Toy Box Giving program. Since 2008, Lauren has filled numerous occasions working out of class or working in capacity for absent sergeants and filling their shoes. He's taken numerous supervisory classes as well as completing his college degree while working. Lauren has been voted by his peers as Officer of the Year 3 separate occasions. He's received many commendations and most importantly, life-saving medal. Lauren has demonstrated his dedication to the city of Sumner and the community members we serve over the past 25 years. And I have every confidence that he will serve us well in the future in his new role as police sergeant. I wanted to bring Lauren before you tonight so you could join me in congratulating Lauren on his many accomplishments and welcoming him in his new role in our department.
Yay.
Lauren's awfully humble. I told him he needs to keep his remarks down to 15 minutes or less.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for me the chance to be a sergeant in the city. I love the city of Sumner. My entire law enforcement career other than the military has been in the city. Like Chief said, I've held a lot of positions over the years and the city's been good to me and my family. And I hope to be good to the city and fill your expectations and do the job that I know I can do and do it to the best of my ability. And I want to thank you all.
Thank you. And I'm proud to be the one to be able to swear you in.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is a proclamation for Arbor Day, and I'll again call on Chief Murky to. No, I won't. I will read that one myself. This is a proclamation for Arbor Day. Whereas the City of Sumner Forestry and Parks Commission promotes the responsible planting and maintenance of trees on public and private property. And whereas the citizens of Sumner highly value their environmental quality and promote the planting of trees as well as an enhanced park system. And whereas the City of Sumner recognizes that trees reduce air pollution, improve aesthetic value, provide shelter from wind and rain, provide animal and bird habitat, reduce noise pollution, save energy, enhance property values, and provide privacy. And whereas the planting of trees promotes community pride and enhances the character of the city and its neighborhoods. And whereas Arbor Day is nationally recognized celebration of trees and tree planting. And whereas Sumner is celebrating its 28th year as a tree city as designated by the National Arbor Day Foundation. Therefore, it be resolved that the City of Sumner proclaims April 13th, 2022 as Arbor Day and requests that all citizens join us and celebrate our trees, our parks, and our continued commitment to environmental stewardship. Thank you for Arbor Day. All right. Now we will move on to Animal Care Control Officers Appreciation Week. Chief Muricky.
Thank you, Mayor. As your Director of Metro Animal Services, it's my privilege to read this proclamation for you all tonight. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association has designated the second week of April each year as Animal Care and Control Officers Appreciation Week. And whereas animal care and control officers dedicate their careers to protecting the welfare of helpless animals that have been rescued from injury, disease, and starvation. And whereas animal care and control officers give sanctuary to the millions of animals found homeless in our communities nationwide and seek to find them forever families. Whereas animal care and control officers have contributed greatly to the evacuation, rescue, safety, and protection of wild and domestic animals that have been ravaged by devastating disasters. And whereas the citizens of Sumner know that a Metro Animal Care and Control Officer is there to assist them if their cherished pet becomes missing or other animals are threatening the safety and comfort of our citizens or their pets. And whereas the City of Sumner would like to express its sincere thanks and appreciation for the outstanding service animal care and control officers provide in an emergency and on a daily basis to the many citizens and communities served by Metro Animal Services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Sumner declares the week of April 10th through April 16th, 2022 as Animal Care and Control Officers Week and requests that all citizens join us by expressing their sincere thanks, gratitude, and appreciation for the many long hours of outstanding service and quality performance these individuals provide. It's dated this 4th day of April, 2022, signed by Honorable Mayor Kathy Hayden.
Thank you, Chief.
And I do thank you on behalf of our animal care and control staff, the unwavering support this council has always provided. It's very, very much appreciated.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Item number 1, approval of the checks and electronic payments in the amount of $1,594,580.76. Item 2, approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting of March 21st, 2022, special study session of March 21st, 2022, and March 28th, 2022 study session. Item 3, resolution 1604, rejection of bids, Bill Heath, sports complex access doors. Item 4, resolution number 1620, Recreation and Conservation Office grant authorization, Bennett property with acquisition and Phase 1 development. Item 5, resolution number 1621, Recreation and Conservation Office grant authorization, Siebenthaler Park Phase 1 Spray Park.
Okay, can I get a motion from Deputy Mayor Hochstetter?
Yes, I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Botetto. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Would any council member wish to remove an item? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, so now we are going to move on to resolution number 1618, the 2023 to 2028 6-year Transportation Improvement Program Annual Update. Councilmember Hochstetter, can I get a motion?
Oh, sorry, I'm unprepared here. Let's see here. Does somebody else have that in front of them?
Councilmember Reed? Go ahead.
I move we adopt resolution number 1618, the 2023 to 2028 6-year Transportation Improvement Program Annual Update.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Reed and second by Councilmember Stewart. I will call on the Public Works Manager, Andrew Leach.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Andrew Leach, Public Works Manager. This resolution is for the 2023 through 2028 6-year Transportation Improvement Program Annual Update, or 6-year TIP for short. Per state law, the city is required to update its TIP annually and file a copy of the adopted program with the State Department of Transportation. This item was previously brought to you at the March 14th study session, and we held a public hearing at the March 21st council meeting. We received no comments from the public at the hearing. A few quick highlights of the plan are the Stewart Road Bridge project. We are currently completing the final design, environmental, and right-of-way phases of the project. We are currently looking to start construction in 2024. Another priority project is the 166th Avenue East widening project. We are currently in preliminary design and will be working through a significant environmental phase for the project due to the involvement of a salmon-bearing stream on the project site. One last highlight is the Alder and Kincaid Improvement Project, which we added to the TIP this year. We are now calling this project the Town Center Utility and Woonerf Project. This project was added due to the project growing to include 2 separate construction phases, along with Academy Street Bike Lane Project and the Heritage Park Woonerf construction. We're looking to begin construction of this project in just a couple months and we'll be completing next year. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, do we have any discussion or questions for Mr. Leach? Seeing none. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reed,
Reed?
Councilmember Reed,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Passes unanimous.
Thank you.
So now we're going to move on to public comment, and the public was encouraged to submit their comments to the city clerk by email before tonight's meeting. So the clerk may read those emails received into the record. Michelle, were there any public?
No, Mayor, there were not.
No? And does anybody listening or watching or sitting in the audience have anything to say? And I will say I see none. So where are we gonna go here? What's that? Excuse me, Michelle, what?
We're going to go to the reappointment to the Sumner Lodging Tax Commission, Advisory Commission.
Right. There we go. We're moving on. New business. We're going to do reappointments to the Sumner Lodging Tax Advisory Commission. And the first one we have is Kim Straight. And I will call on Carmen Palmer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's my first time at the new podium.
Mayor, I'm sorry, but we need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have a motion to reappoint Kim Straight to the Lodging and Tax Advisory Commission?
Yes, I'll make the motion to reappoint Kim Straight to the Sumner Lodging Tax Advisory Committee for a term of 1 year.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilmember Botetto and seconded by Councilmember Newman. Okay, now we'll call on Carmen Palmer.
That was just a test run. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you tonight is an annual reappointment. So Kim Straight has been serving for a long time on the Sumner Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. This is a committee that follows state law, even though the bulk of our lodging tax goes to Pierce County for allocation from their Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. 2% of a hotel motel shared occupancy tax still comes to Sumner, and that must follow the same laws for a lodging tax advisory committee. So that's what this group meets to make recommendations to the city council for spending. Kim represents the Holiday Inn Express and Suites here in Sumner. She has served for a long time. Per state law, 2 members of the group must be people who collect the tax at a hotel or short-term rental, and 2 must be people who are eligible to use the tax from the tourism and hospitality industry. So Kim represents one of the collectors. Are there any questions?
I'm not seeing any. And is Kim Straight here? I don't-
No, this is a pretty annual routine thing, so I didn't encourage them to give up their Monday night.
All right. So is there any discussion among council members? Does anybody have anything to say? Council member Hochstetter.
I'll just say that I've worked with Kim and she always does a great job of giving us input and keeping us abreast of what's happening at the hotel. So I appreciate her being on the committee again.
Thank you. Council member Botetto.
Yeah, I just have a question. On my agenda, it said Trevor Sutton, and I was wondering who that is. Was going to be reappointed.
He will be the next one, so I will speak to
Oh,
him
okay.
after you vote on.
Oh, okay, so, all right, thank you.
Okay. All right. Any member of the public wish to speak to this item? I see none. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Councilmember Hochstetter?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Cole?
Yes.
Passes unanimous. Moving on to the reappointment, Sumner Lodging Tax Advisory Commission of Trevor Sutton.
Yes, so rest assured, I will not repeat the same spiel over and over again. Trevor represents the second collector. He worked
Ms. Palmer,
of the campus.
Ms. Palmer, you need to turn on your mic.
Oh. All right, sorry, I'm getting to learn that. I didn't realize that kicks off. I will not keep repeating every time, but Trevor Sutton is the second representative of a collector. He is the general manager at the Candlewood Suites here in Sumner. And he's not as many of you know him as Kim, but he is a valued voice as well, often gives us a second perspective on a hotel property.
Councilmember Cole, could you make a motion?
Yes, I move to reappoint to the Sumner Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, Mr. Trevor Sutton, for a term of 1 year as serving as a representative of the businesses required to collect the tax.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. Is Mr. Sutton here?
No.
He is not here. Any discussion among council members on Mr. Sutton? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Newman. Councilmember Newman,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All right, unanimous. Off and running to the reappointment to the Sumner Lodging Tax Advisory Commission of Dean Burke. Councilmember Reed, would you like to make a motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I move we reappoint Dean Burke to the Sumner Lodging Tax Advisory Commission.
All right, and do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. And do we have Ryan Windish here?
Oh, I'll take this one too, Mayor.
Okay,
One more and then you're rid of me.
okay. So we will call on Carmen Palmer again.
So Dean Burke is the head of the Travel Tacoma Mount Rainier, the county's destination marketing organization. He represents one of the organizations that could be a user of this fund. He has served on this board for a long time. He is a valuable voice. If you've heard me talk about how 1.9 million visitors come to Main Street, it's because he's helped us out with actual tracking data so we can learn a lot more about who's coming to Sumner. So a very valued member of the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee.
Great. Any discussion among council members? Seeing none?
Mayor,
Should-
Councilmember
You should
Hochstetter.
see some.
Oh, there we go. Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. I have
Sorry.
too many things to look at around here.
I want to thank Dean for his time and expertise. He has been with us a long time, but he's very, very valuable to what we do. And I also want to thank the other two members that have continued to spend time helping us do this project. So thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any member of the public wish to speak on Dean Burke? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Newman,
Yes.
Reed. Councilmember Reed. See you on there.
I don't know.
Yes.
Thank you. Brown,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Hochstetter.
Yes.
Passes unanimous. All right, moving on to the reappointment to the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission. Councilmember Newman, would you like to make a motion? This one is for Sue Larson.
I would, I just don't have the actual text in front of me. But I would like to move that, we're appointing Sue Larson.
Yes.
Yep,
Are
I would like to move that we appoint Sue Larson to the Cultural Arts Center. Or,
Yes. And I will second that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. So I will call on Community Development Director Ryan Windisch for this one. Knew
Thank
we'd get
you. Thank you, Mayor Hayden. Good evening, council. Tonight, the mayor is seeking the confirmation of the reappointment of Sue Larson to the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission. Sue Larson is a longtime Sumner resident. She has retired as a first grade teacher at Maple Lawn Elementary. She volunteers at Step by Step, a nonprofit helping disadvantaged first-time moms. Sue believes that art plays an important role in people's lives as well as the lives of the community. She is currently in her second year as the chairperson for the commission, and the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission consists of 15 members who are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the city council. The members are to be selected without respect to political affiliations and shall serve a 4-year term without compensation. So I'm happy to answer any questions. We're happy to have Sue be on the Cultural Arts Commission and her involvement in all the things that they're able to make happen through the community.
Thank you, Mr. Windisch. Do we have any discussion on Sue Larson? No discussion. Any member of the public would like to speak on this? I see none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Cole,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Reed, sorry about that. Councilmember Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
All right, unanimous. Another one down. All right, we're moving on to the reappointment to the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission of Michael Hochstetter. Councilmember Brown,
Yes,
would like to make a motion.
I move to reappoint Michael Hofstadter to the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. All right, we'll call on Community Director Ryan Windisch.
That
again.
was Newman.
Oh, okay, the second was Charla Newman, Councilmember Newman. Sorry about that. You sound so much alike. All right.
We try.
Community Development Director Ryan Windisch.
All right, thank you, Mayor Hayden and council. And I'll just go into the details of Mr. Hochstetter and not over the details of the Arts Commission, the Cultural Arts Commission again. So Mr. Hochstetter has been on the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission for a number of years. He resides in Sumner. He's self-employed. He's also a tennis coach at Sumner High School, a musician, and a community organizer. Michael has a passion for creativity, the community of Sumner. Also want to add that Michael has been active over the last couple of years in making murals happen in our downtown and our parks. That's one of the creative projects that he also has been working on the last few years. So the appointment would be for another 5-year term on the Cultural Arts Commission.
Thank you. Any member of the public like to speak on Michael Hochstetter? Any council members like to speak on Michael Hochstetter? Councilmember Newman.
I really appreciate Michael Hochstetter's involvement in the community. He has brought some really innovative ideas. I mean, he is truly an artist and a dreamer. Love him for that. But he has brought some like really great innovative ideas to the town, including he really was the catalyst for creating the Ryan, like the night market that we have. that I don't think would have existed without him. Anyway, no attachments or funds for Councilmember Hochstetter. Like just completely independent of that relationship. I just do appreciate his involvement.
Thank you, Councilmember Newman. Okay, any member of the public like to speak on this? And seeing none, I will move on. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Stewart,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Cole.
Yes.
All right. Unanimous. Moving on to the reappointment to the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission of Emily Browning Cray. Councilmember Stewart, would you like to make a motion?
I move to approve the reappointment of Emily Browning Cray to a 4-year appointment on the Cultural Arts Commission with a term ending in 2026.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. Community Development Director Ryan Windish.
Thank you, Mayor Hayden. And this is seeking confirmation of the reappointment of Emily Browning Cray to the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission. Emily has been a teacher teaching art in the community for the past 17 years and is currently an art teacher at Sumner High School. Emily is also co-owner of the Top Down Brewing in Sumner. Emily is excited about creating connections to our youth through the arts. Emily's also been active in the Ryan, the market on Ryan, and also the sidewalk chalk festival as well. She's been a big part of that over the years. So this would be approval of a 4-year term for the Cultural Arts Commission.
Thank you. Is Ms. Browning present? Do not see her. All right, any discussion among council members? Seeing none. Any members of the public want to speak on this? Seeing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Reed, Councilmember Reed,
Waiting for that.
Councilmember Reed,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All right. Passed unanimous. All right. Now we're getting down to the reappointment to the Sumner Design Commission of Jolene Peterson Jones. Councilmember Cole, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I move to reappoint to the Sumner Design Commission, Ms. Jolene Peterson, for a term of 4 years as a mayoral reappointment.
I second.
Seconded by Councilmember Newman. Associate Planner Scott Waller, present?
Yes, I am. And good evening, Mayor and Council. And thank you for reviewing this reappointment for Commissioner Jones. Sumner's Design Commission reviews incoming development projects and assists staff by helping us get the best product we can when a project builds in Sumner. And they ultimately make a recommendation to the Development Services Director on the project's outcome. Staff in the city have benefited over the years from Jolene's experience that she brings to the commission. She has served 2 full terms as the chair and is currently serving as the vice chair. And as a resident of Sumner, business owner in Sumner, and someone who has a career in a very relevant field for the Design Commission, Jolene is able to provide a very unique perspective to incoming projects, and staff has really appreciated that over the years. And we would absolutely recommend the council approve or reapprove her appointment.
Thank you. She is our only one attendee. Would you like to say anything? Come on up to the microphone. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address first. We know your name, but welcome to our world. We don't know what buttons to push either yet.
Thank you, Mayor Hayden.
Yeah.
I'm Jolene Jones. My address is 805 Wood Avenue in Sumner, and I am honored to be reappointed to the Sumner Design Commission. It's really exciting to see the projects coming to Sumner, the investment being made in Sumner, and really working with the other commissioners. And I really have to, tip my hat to the staff because they do a great job of working with applicants on these projects and explaining the feedback that they're looking for from the Design Commission. And so it's really rewarding. And overall, today, seeing 7 reappointments, I think that really speaks volumes to the staff liaisons that are working with these commissions. The commissioners are obviously feeling valued. And so I think that's a real testament of how the city's run.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our commissions. Without volunteers, we wouldn't be as good as we are. We just really appreciate giving your time. Thank you very much. All right, will the police, the police?
Mayor, Council Member Newman would like to address something.
Oh, there's, okay. Councilmember Newman, would you like to say something?
Yes, I know the hybrid situation is strange. I would like to thank Commissioner Jones. It is a thankless task. Like, it is very much a volunteer goal, but I really do appreciate the time that she puts into weighing in on decisions that our city needs to make, and she helps, like, that we need to make, and she makes them more I think she helps make them more thoughtful. And it is like a blessing for all of us to have her expertise while weighing in. Anyway, so I'm thankful that she is serving again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Newman. So are there any members of the public that would like to weigh in on this? I don't think I asked that. I see none. All right, would the clerk please call the roll?
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Reed. Waiting for it to go.
Yes.
Thank you. Stewart,
Yes.
Unanimous. I guess you're in. Okay. Now we're going to move on to ordinance number 2818, American Rescue Plan Act Budget Amendment. And I will call on Jason Wilson, City Administrator. Councilmember Reed, would you like to make a motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I move we approve ordinance 2818, the American Rescue Plan Act Budget Amendment.
And I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. And now we'll call on City Administrator Jason Wilson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, before you is an ordinance to amend the budget and allocate a 3rd round of American Rescue Plan Act funding.
Okay.
All right. technology in this room is not cooperating very well tonight.
I know it.
All right, but you got to laugh about it.
Yeah.
All right, so as a reminder to the council and the public, we had about $2 billion worth of federal funding come into Pierce County. Of that $2 billion, 2.9 million of it was awarded to the city of Sumner. Generally, the funds must be spent by the end of 2024. And our city chose to establish an American Rescue Plan Act committee to review the best uses for the money to leverage it against regional dollars for the maximum impact. So as I mentioned before, this is the third round of funding that council is being asked to allocate. It is the largest funding round as well. So I'm going to just go through the different categories of spending, and I can go into each allocation as we go through that. So the first is direct response. This is actually a return of $300,000 from the general fund. Back in the summer of 2021, council allocated $300,000 to create a HR generalist position. This was really on the heels of learning that the OSHA was going to release an emergency temporary standard that was going to greatly impact our staffing and just magnify the staffing challenges we were already experiencing, particularly in recruitment. We are still dealing with recruitment challenges. However, we are able to maintain the workload with our current staffing. We are not able to necessarily expand into some other areas that we were hoping to, but at this point, we do not feel that we need the ARPA money for this position at this time. So that is returning that $300,000. The second is economic response and resilience. We're recommending that council allocate $320,000. These are in the form of business grants. The first is for tenant improvements. These are grants between $5,000 and $20,000 for businesses that are trying to establish themselves within the city or do capital improvements to enhance their business or seek services, professional level services to expand their business. Second is for business grants. This is two $60,000 grants to help establish restaurants with a focus on our historic downtown core. Restaurant establishment is very expensive, and these two grants will help offset some of the capital improvement costs or other fees associated with starting restaurants. The last is a single grant to help create a commissary kitchen. Commissary kitchens are important part of the overall food ecosystem. They are important for food trucks and mobile food vendors because any food that's sold out of those has to be prepared in a commissary kitchen, and there's a significant need, particularly in Eastern Pierce County, for additional commissary kitchen capacity. These grants, if approved tonight, will be open by the end of the month. The grant applications will be available on our website. The last category is infrastructure investments. We're asking the council allocate $1.5 million, 500,000 of which would be used to put in Portland Loo style restrooms, one at Loyalty Park and one at Rainier View Park. If you're not familiar with the Portland Loo, they are a vandalism resistant restroom system. It allows for easy cleaning as well as lower maintenance costs. These would replace current portable restrooms that are at these parks today. The second is for $500,000 to support the water utility regarding the Town Center Plan Kincaid Cherry Woonerf project that we have discussed earlier this evening, and another $500,000 to support the storm costs associated with that project. So in recap, this round is round 3, $1.52 million. It does leave a little over $200,000 unallocated, and the committee will continue to evaluate these programs and make recommendations in the future. This infographic is on our website, but it does provide a good overview of how we have allocated our American Rescue Plan Act funding, and happy to answer any of council's questions.
All right, do you have any questions for Jason? Seeing none. Oh, Councilmember Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make a comment, actually, to thank staff for the enormous amount of work and chasing that took place and trying to keep up with the rules that went around the use of the ARPA funds. And to thank the other committee members from the ARPA committee on our detailed, in some cases, I think one night we had a 2.5 hour meeting going through some of the different things that were options and potentials. And I'm really happy with how the final submission turned out, and I'll be supporting this amendment, and I look forward to some of the changes it can help promote within the city.
Thank you. Councilmember Newman.
Thank you. I would like to thank staff in particular, like both Jason and Ryan, for the work that went into this, because I do think it was a very thoughtful attempt about how we use those funds. And I've talked to people from other cities where like it was very much like the funds were put into either infrastructure, mostly infrastructure, but also economic development. And I thank them for striking a balance between trying to recruit new business and yet supporting those that struggled during the pandemic as well. And I really do appreciate the thoughtful balance that went into this kind of package.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any public like to speak? All right. Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Newman,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Hochstetter.
Yes.
All right, batting 1,000 tonight. Resolution number 1622, multifamily tax exemption residential target area.
I move to approve resolution number 1622, setting a public hearing date of May 16th, 2022 for considering a new residential target area for the multi-family tax exemption program.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Potato. And I will call on Community Director Ryan Windish on this one.
Thank you, Mayor Hayden and City Council. The resolution number 1622 that's before you would simply set the public hearing date for the expansion of the residential target areas for the multifamily tax exemption program the city currently has in place in the Sumner Municipal Code. The expansion of the MFTE area is intended to be implementing the Housing Action Plan. And it would create an area basically in the East Sumner neighborhood that would allow for a 12-year multifamily tax exemption for affordable housing. So 20% of the units being built that would qualify would have to be affordable to low and moderate income homes. Council's had 3 different study sessions to talk about the MFTE program. And this is a requirement in the RCWs to actually hold a public hearing when expanding the residential target area. And as I mentioned, it includes an area within East Sumner. So the notices will go out for the public hearing. We'll notify it in the paper for 2 consecutive weeks prior to the 16th. That's all I have for that one. Thank you.
Thank you. Any of the public would like to speak on this? And of course, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Potato,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
All right, there we are. Okay, we're moving on to council reports, and I will call on Councilmember Potato.
Yeah, this evening I wanted to talk about the Public Safety Committee. We met on, I believe, well, on the 16th, and public safety covers both the fire department and our police. So Chief Parkinson from the fire department reported that they're seeing more activity getting back to normal. COVID has become less of an issue. And among the things that will be upcoming are CPR classes, the Easter egg hunt, which will be on April 16th at Sunset Chevrolet Stadium, and from 9 to 11. 9 o'clock will be for 1 to 3 year olds, 10 will be for 4 to 7 year olds, and 11 will be for 8 to 11 year olds. And there will also be Easter egg hunts in Edgewood and South Prairie. And then other things are getting back, into normal meeting. And he did send a letter to the city about the tax exempt dwelling that we're considering, just wanted to see, let us know how it impacts them. And then their fire commissioners are evaluating their 5-year revenue and expense projections. And then as far as the police, we've had a lot of good information come from the body worn cameras. And I've seen at least 3 presentations about it. That is pretty impressive what is captured in those recordings. And there's, like tonight, we had the promotion of Lauren Huslow to rank of sergeant. And then there are a couple other vacancies that have some candidates. And then a video recording system was installed in both the patrol rooms, and it seems to be working well, so that will be helpful. And then we're working on amending an ordinance regarding kennel licenses. And so anyway, but both committees are very active, and just, I'm proud to be on them. And then just hope everybody enjoys the Daffodil Parade this weekend. I hope it's not today. Today to me is always typical Daffodil Parade weather, because it'll be rainy 1 minute and then, here it's nice, but like half hour ago, it was just coming down, hailing. So anyway, that's all for tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
Yeah, I would like to thank all the volunteers on the commissions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Newman.
Yeah, I wanted to let everyone know that SHAPE, the affordable housing group in Pierce County, has hired an executive director to finally to start coordinating and running all of that. Those works. It's Jason Gauthier, who used to was a lobbyist for Habitat for Humanity, and so has a good balance, I think, between both lobbying but working on housing issues. And our county executive is trying to recruit more different other cities who may have opted out beforehand, but because of the work that they're doing, are starting to, we're actually gaining in city members, which makes us a stronger group in terms of the state legislature for getting affordable housing issues addressed in the way that small towns need them to be addressed. Anyway, so I'm happy about that. And then part of what Councilmember Barbatetto said in terms of welcome everyone to Daffodil Parade in real time, sans, well, not quite after pandemic, but anyway, hopefully safely and fun.
Thank you. Councilmember Cole.
No report tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Hochstetter.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the CD committee meeting this month, and the items we discussed and decided to bring forward to the council for a vote were put on the consent agenda tonight, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them. Resolution 1604 was rejection of the bids for a new access gate and restroom remodel and snack bar update at the Bill Heath Sports Complex. The bids were way over budget, so we had to have you reject the bids tonight, and we hope to rebid them in the future. No one wants the project to not happen, but the bids just were not in line with what we could afford at this time. Resolution 1620, we accepted the Recreational and Conservation Office grant for buying property for the Bennett Park and for development of phase 1. And then resolution 1621 was an acceptance grant for phase 1 at Siebenthaler Park. And some of the items that we just discussed that are still in committee was we want to bring forward the park master plan to be approved by the council, and the committee made no changes to it. And we also discussed the idea of a designated graffiti wall on the west and north side of the skate park. Mr. Windish is still gathering info for us, but we are hoping for a successful deterrent to the illegal graffiti that happens around town. So we're not sure where that's going to go, but we're hoping that maybe we can come up with a good place for the users of the skate park to do some art at the skate park. So that's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Stewart.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say how proud I am to live in a city that for 28 years has been designated as a Tree City USA. It is just wonderful. I try to make my yard look like a park and trying to keep up with the city staff that makes our city look very beautiful. And along those lines, I want to issue a challenge to my fellow city council members. On April 13th, plant a tree. Take a picture of the tree you plant and then report on it at the next council meeting. Thank you.
Does it count to cut one down? Councilmember Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two brief updates. One is I know you didn't ask me about the ARPA committee because we had information tonight, but we did meet last month, and ARPA is the American Rescue Plan Act, and the items that were in final selection for approval came through that meeting and were presented earlier this evening in that amendment that was adopted. And then the other was the Pierce County Regional Council. We met on the 17th. There was a variety of things. Some of the noteworthy ones is we did award funding on projects through, there's a mouthful here for the name of the funding source, but it's the Puget Sound Regional Council's Federal Surface Transportation Program and Congestion Management and Air Quality Program. And there were 6 projects that were awarded. Fortunately, Sumner wasn't in any of those projects, but they are meaningful projects. One is the 72nd and Canyon restoration, and then there are projects in the Port of Tacoma, for example. Other items were procedural, updating the bylaws and expenses, and then there were appointments to the Zoo Trek Authority. Board, and Councilmember McCluskey from Gig Harbor was reappointed, and then Mayor of Buckley was appointed as the representatives to the Zoo Trek Board. And that's all. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention my my own thanks to all the commissioners and all of the volunteers that put their time in for the city. like the mayor had mentioned earlier, that's those commissions and councils are commissions and committees are what help us shape and form our opinions in our decision-making process, and it's truly valued. I also wanted to mention looking forward to the Daffodil Parade, not only for us as it's an amazing event for us to participate in, but our daughter gets to participate this year in the band for the middle school. So she'll be marching in Puyallup and in Sumner. Looking forward to it.
Good. And the Daffodil Parade is on Saturday the 9th. Jason. City Administrator Jason Wilson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, just a brief update. At next week's study session, you'll hear from Development Services regarding a lot of the permit activity that is going on in the city right now. And then we'll provide an update regarding the parks facility planning. And then we'll be doing some follow-up from your budget retreat that you had in March. We'll be discussing the draft strategic priorities for 23 and 24. And then also going back to January, we had a discussion regarding the principles of conduct that council adopts every 2 years. We'll be discussing that again and the incorporation of those into your council rules. At the next regular council meeting on April 18th, we'll be swearing in a new police officer, which is exciting. Also welcoming another entry-level officer, so 2 officers that day. You'll also have a presentation from the Senior Center about all the great things that they're doing out there as they're coming out of the pandemic and reopening to multiple services that they're providing. It is April, so you're going to have more commission appointments and reappointments. And then there'll be some ordinances, one amending the animal code regarding kennel licenses, another ordinance amending the electronic signature code, and then a resolution adopting the Siebenthaler and Bennett Property Parks master plans. Speaking of commissions, the Planning Commission is holding a meeting this Thursday to confirm the 2022 Comprehensive Plan Amendment document. There are 3 proposed amendments. The first is to limit gas stations to the interchange commercial zone and the industrial zones. The second is a sign code update to allow electronic reader board signs on the city or library facilities located on East Main Street. And the third is some language clarifications related to the densities to align with existing code related to planned residential developments. The commission is being asked to accept the docket and approve the public participation plan, which will include notices, public hearings, etc. On the personnel front, HR, as I mentioned earlier, continues to be extremely busy with recruitments. We are definitely seeing probably the tightest recruitment market that we have seen at least in 15, 20 years. For positions that we would normally get over 100 applicants for, we're getting about 25, which is just something we have never seen. And we have a very competitive benefits and compensation package here. So it's definitely troubling and a difficult thing that our HR staff is working through. But there is good news. In the last few weeks, we have hired an industrial electrician, a wastewater treatment plant operator, 2 police officers, including 1 lateral officer from Black Diamond, 1 animal shelter assistant. And we're currently working through the hiring process for the associate engineer, an animal control officer, 2 public works operators, multiple seasonal laborers, and summer interns. So big kudos to Mr. Steffens and Ms. McNeely as they work through that incredible workload. Everybody's talked about the Daffodil Parade. We're all excited. The one thing I will just say as council members, if you are planning on participating in the parade, you'll be meeting the Kenworth at Heritage Park. Watch your email for additional details as we firm up as we get closer. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Wilson? Oh, thank you. There will also be the new say this 3 times fast, Street of Eats and Beer Garden hosted by the Sumner Main Street Association downtown from noon to 5. There will be a beer garden. Also joined the Sumner Police. They joined a statewide campaign for focused driving. That means when you're driving, you need to focus. We like our roads to be safe. And most of all, I want to tell you, thank you for bearing with us when we learn this new technology. There's so many things to do. I think an octopus needs to be here. So thank you very much. And